What's up, everyone? It is Ray here again, this time to do a build tutorial. If you are a subscriber to my channel or you've been visiting me quite often, you know that I've been working on my Knuckle Knuckle build. I came out first with a dual Knuckle Knuckle. I made the bearded clamshell. Now I have made the Beast Knuckle. The Beast Knuckle is a single coil, quad twisted 27 gauge knuckle build. This came out to a 0.24 when I built it the first time, and I've been practicing a bunch of different wicking techniques. I'm building this on my IGO-W, and like I said, this is a single coil, but it is a beast. Let me show you. You're not going to be able to see it, but we're going to go up close. I'm going to do every single step. I'll show you from how to twist the wire properly, to making the coil, to inserting the coil, and how to do the proper wicking technique, because it is different from how I've done my other knuckle builds. Let's see what we got here. You can see it shoots out vapor like mad, and it shoots it out similar to the Dragon Nano coil, but it's not the same. So let me show you how this thing vapes. I'm going to set up my build deck, and we'll twist up some wire. We'll get into the building process, and we'll make it easy for you to do this same build. All right, you guys, so stick around. Let me get all my stuff, and we'll get this thing going. All right, so first things first, 27 gauge Knuckle wire. And what you need to do, pull off a good amount here, just because I like making this. So most important thing is you need two strands that are the exact, or at least close to the exact same length here, because what we're going to do right now is twist up a quad twisted. So there we go. Cut this. Oh, and look at that, just springed up on me like crazy. See that? Happens to the best of us, right? Maybe it just happens to me. I'm not that good. Okay, so now we got our two long strands of 27 gauge. Next thing I do, I fold them, line up the ends here, and now we got 4 strands. Next thing I do is on this end, I'll crimp it. Now I'll take this end here, these 2 little crimped pieces, and we'll stick this in the drill gun. And what I do is I'll kind of put it in here. See this? Set it right in here, like so. And make sure you crimp this puppy down as tight as possible. Alright, next thing I do, take this end with all the 4 little empty strands, and make sure you pull as much slack out as possible. You want this to be a nice clean twist. Alright, get to the end here, kind of twist these by hand just a little bit so they don't slide around while you're trying to make this coil here. And again, you see there's no slack, no crimping. Take a pair of needle nose pliers, grab that twisted end. Let's get this here so I can show you what I'm about to do, and start it off. All right, came out fairly clean. You can see there's a couple little like weird crimping things going on there. So I didn't quite have it perfect. Doesn't need to be. All right, so find a spot now that's not going to have any issues. So we'll cut here and that's a nice, good thing here. Alright, so there we go. We got our quad. Let me zoom in here and show you. This is our quad twisted 27 gauge. Trying to get it clear here. Nice, clean, thick cable. So there you go. You see how to twist this. We're going to go down onto the build deck, up close mode, and we're going to build the beast knuckle. All right, so welcome back. Now I'm going to show you how to turn this quad cable into the beast knuckle. So first thing we got to do here is get this on camera. What I like to do is I do a 5 wrap micro coil on a 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench here, and you want these coils to be tight as can be. All right, what do we got there? We got five coils, and this stuff is not very easy to work with. This is really thick cable, so squish it all together as best as I can, and there you go. Now we have the beast knuckle. Let me show you that. So now it comes off the Allen wrench, and this is what we got. First thing I like to do, normally you can smash this down with your fingers, but since this is such a thick piece here, you have to sort of do this with some needle nose pliers. So you flatten everything down, and then you take, while holding everything down, you take one leg out and bend it this way. You take your other leg and bend it in there as well. So now we got the 4 loops for the knuckle build. Next thing you do, and this is really difficult, even more difficult to do on camera, you spread them out without breaking fingernails here. Alright, so just take my fingers and spread them out as best I can, trying to keep them even but completely separate of each other. Grab with the needle nose, since this is a very, very tight coil. Separate these two in the center, because you're trying to make this look as much like, you know, a pair of brass knuckles. Separate now. Alright, we got some separation there. Let's make that one look like the rest. And we got this. It's kind of hard to see. I keep getting shadows here. Sorry, my lighting's not the best. Alright, so now we got this. Take your needle nose and press down really hard. Your goal is to flatten this coil out. Alright, once you get it nice and flat, you kind of look to see, as long as all of them are a little equal. This one's a little bit smaller, so we'll back off of it just a little bit to make it look as much like the rest of them. That looks pretty good. So we got there, and then you look on this side and it's flat. The purpose of this build in the beginning, when I first came up with this idea, was to cover the whole build deck. See the build deck here? I wanted something that would cover it like that. That's what I was looking for. And I tried without using coils and just trying to zigzag, and it just didn't work the way I wanted it to work. So that's when I came up with this, and surprisingly it works very well. I keep hitting the camera, my apologies. So next thing we do here, make sure your screws are backed all the way out because it's some really thick wire. Alright, and we feed it through the post holes. So let's try it the other way. Alright, that one's in, and that center one in, there it goes. And pull it nice and tight onto the deck. Wow, that is almost a perfect beast coil there. Kind of pop that one out, push this one a little more. And we are going to tighten everything down here. And you really can wrench down on this stuff because you're not going to break it. Alright, so that is the start of the beast coil. See that? Now, the main goal here, now that we have it inserted, is to make sure that none of these are touching any other part of this deck. Alright? And the way I do this is actually take my trusty paperclip tool here. See if it'll fit into one of these holes here. And push it away from the edge of the deck. Use plier or tweezers here and crimp it down. And here is the hardest part, is getting all these knuckles flat. Because if they're not flat, it's not going to work properly. Alright, you can kind of see that is a nice level flat beast knuckle. It looks fairly good, like it's not going to touch the outer walls of the build deck. Kind of push it down, check it out. And this is the part where you're going to have the most issues. You really need to pay good attention to this part of the build because you need it to be level and flat, and it's not that easy sometimes. Alright, good enough. Next thing we'll do here, check our resistance. There we go. 0.24, just like the last one. So let's go ahead and cut off the leads. I wouldn't suggest using nail clippers trying to cut this. Now, the most important issue, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and give it a test fire, just so you can see it in action here. Test fire mode here. Look at that. The beast knuckle. And it works the same as any other, your micro coils and your nano coils. It fires from the middle out. Look at that. Hot freaking beast knuckle. Okay, so now the important part of the build is your cotton. Alright, since this does not thread through these little holes like a normal coil would, the way that I work this build is by sandwiching it in a bed of cotton. So let's go ahead and cut off a nice little piece here. And you know, check it out. I want to go to about right there. Take off that section. So now we got this piece here, right? So what you do now is you take your cotton bed, and you stuff that underneath the beast knuckle. Get a nice, good amount of cotton stuffed in there because this sucks up juice like you wouldn't believe. So you want to make sure it is a nice, fat chunk of cotton in there. And then push it down. Oh, looks like my girlfriend's home. Take this now and you stuff the cotton, you sandwich it just like that. And then I kind of push down in here like so. The main goal is to leave this area open and this area open right here. Cut off some of this excess. We don't need all this extra cotton here. Alright, now I'll juice it up and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so here we go. I'll show you a little up close of this now. So as you can see, I leave one piece there showing. You can see that right there. And then same on this side, I leave one little piece just showing, but you can't tell. You get a lot of cotton on there, so you can drip a lot of juice. All right. So let's go ahead and drip some juice on here. And of course, the first time you juice this coil, since you have so much cotton and it is sandwiched, you really need to juice it up really well. Make sure it soaks all the way through. Okay, I think we're fairly saturated here. Let's see what kind of fireworks we get. First few times, gotta boil off some of that excess juice. Fireworks shooting out everywhere. Like I said, you gotta over drip that first time just to make sure that you're well saturated, and make sure you have that airflow going just over your coil here. There we go. See that? That's how it fires. That is the beast knuckle. So let's go ahead and drip a little bit more juice on here and give it the vape test. Another key important part of this, all right? Normally, your airflow would go right where your coil's sitting. No, not on this one. Because of the way that the coil sits on the deck and it covers the whole deck, and you have an opening on this side and an opening on this side, I place my air holes to the sides of the posts, all right? Not in front of the whole section of row of posts. It's right on each negative post, okay? So that's how you work it. Let's take a bait. So that, my friends, is the beast knuckle. Single coil, quad twisted, 27 gauge monster. The thing throws so much vapor out at you. It works really well. And the way that I sandwich wick it and leave those two ends open on the side just so the vapor pours out like so. This single coil build, in my opinion, works better than your dual nano dragons or any other dual coil I have ever built. And this is a single coil build. Of course, make sure you're using a 30 amp battery. This is a very low sub-ohm build at a 0.24 ohm. So please make sure you don't blow yourself up or vent your batteries on you. And make sure you put a 30 amp battery in here. Okay, you guys? So here's the tutorial, or there's the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a shot. Try it out. Let me know what you think about it. I really enjoy that you guys watch this. And if you're interested in any more build tutorials or reviews or any of the other weird vape related videos I make, excuse me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'll have many more build tutorials coming up, many more reviews coming up, and I also have a surprise coming up here in the very near future that I'm putting a lot of work into right now. That will be to help everyone in the vape community. All right, you guys, so thank you so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. And as always, vape on.